Election day is getting closer and Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton's lead is beginning to shrink, along with the number of people at the polls. I'm Hannah Getz.
And I'm Kristen Toole. West Virginia Governor Earl Ray Tomblin is seeking millions more from Congress to further flood relief efforts.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University. Last week, photos from our neighboring state of Ohio were released, showing two adults passed out in a car with a child in the back seat.
That's right, Hannah, and the cause of this scary image, an alleged heroin overdose. The drug is affecting many parts of the nation, with nearly 600,000 people nationwide addicted to heroin. But I learned more about how it's been especially damaging here in West Virginia. In President Obama's administrative action announced last spring, he includes expanding access to West Virginia community health centers for heroin addicts.
I understand, Kristen, that this action totals $1.7 million in funding.
Well, Hannah, healthcare spending is one of many hot-button issues for this year's presidential election.
That's right, Kristen. Reporter Quinn Crosby is here to tell us more about the race in the Mountain State. Quinn?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. In the 2012 presidential election, West Virginia had the lowest turnout rate of any state in the country. Now, West Virginia Secretary of State Natalie Tennant is sending out a clear message that everyone needs to get out and vote. I was able to sit down with Secretary Tennant to discuss why people in the Mountain State should be taking advantage of their right to vote. The United States presidential election is Tuesday, November 8th. You can register to vote and find out more about the upcoming election by visiting Secretary Tennant's website at the bottom of your screen. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Quinn. As the political race continues, Mylan Pharmaceuticals here in Morgantown has been getting the heat from Congress.
Mylan's EpiPen is seeing a major price hike. Reporter Jacqueline Fenton is in the studio to tell us more about the latest outrage people are showing for the new price. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. Mylan is receiving plenty of resistance over the 400% price increase of EpiPens, and CEO Heather Brush testified in front of Congress on Wednesday in response to the backlash. WVU News reached out to CEO Heather Brush, but she did not return our calls or emails. Kristen and Hannah, back to you.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Student health and safety is important to WVU as well.
That's why Fall Fest this year was relocated from downtown to the Evansdale campus.
What does it take to rebuild after a flood? When historic flash floods devastated parts of southern West Virginia in June, residents turned to social media for help.
That's right, Kristen. Hashtag West Virginia Strong has been a trending tweet since the floods. Morgan Malarski joins us now from Social Square with the latest in social media and pop culture news. Morgan?
Social media has changed how West Virginians respond to breaking news. Images of Mother Nature's fury were posted to Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, showing the devastation from the flooding. But social media has also been used to raise awareness. I took a deeper look into how social media has given flood victims hope again. The WVU Alumni Foundation is continuing to take donations as well at the GoFundMe website. You can visit the page and donate by going to the link on the screen.
That's such a great story, Hannah. Thanks, Morgan. WVU was proud to have multiple Olympic medalists this summer.
Sports reporter Ashley Rogers tells us all about the WVU student that won the first gold medal for the USA in Rio. It's not every day that an athlete can say they're an Olympic gold medalist, Kristen.
That's right, Hannah. Sports reporter Ashley Rogers is here to tell us about a 19-year-old mountaineer who brought home the gold. Ashley?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. Many Olympians train all their lives for a moment on the biggest stage of sports, but the first time Jenny Thrasher picked up a rifle was in 2012. 4 years later, she's an Olympic gold medalist and the third youngest USA women's shooting medalist. I found out what life is like for her after she got a shot she wouldn't miss.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Kristen Toole.
And I'm Hannah Getz. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time. This year's presidential debates are the most watched in U.S. history, and the public has plenty to say about them on Twitter. I'm Hannah Getz.
And I'm Kristen Toole. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and people here in Morgantown are doing their part to walk for a cure.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University. Nearly 2,000 children are abused and neglected each day in America.
That's right, Hannah. Reporter Quinn Crosby is here to tell us more. Quinn.
Thanks, Kristen and Hannah. Child abuse is a nationwide problem, with a report of abuse made every 10 seconds. But one advocacy center in Mon County is working to lower these numbers. A nationally accredited child advocacy center in Mon County is doing their part in helping prevent abuse and keeping kids safe. I sat down with the center's director to learn more about how they are helping children in crisis situations. The center also holds fundraising events and prevention training throughout the county. You can learn more by visiting the website at the bottom of your screen. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
Thanks for that report, Quinn. Well, Kristen, all eyes are on Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as they throw countless personal shots at one another in the last few weeks of the presidential race.
And Hannah, with the third debate recently behind us, I took the time to analyze the second debate, where tempers flared and questions were raised as the race to the White House continues. CNN just reported that the swing state polls show that Trump's path to the White House is narrowing.
In several of the Republican Party's most generous donors urged the RNC to cut ties with Trump, stating lasting damages on the party's image. The second presidential debate was the most tweeted event in American history, Kristen, with more than 17 million tweets sent during the 90-minute period.
That's right, Hannah, and the #1 topic among those tweets was related to Trump's treatment of women. Continuing our team coverage of the presidential race, Morgan Malarski joins us now from Social Square with the latest in social media and pop culture news. Morgan?
Hashtag debates have people buzzing on Twitter. Both presidential candidates gained thousands of followers each during the second presidential debate alone. I took a further look at how social media is a game changer this campaign season. Clinton walked away from the debate with 25,000 new followers, while Trump gained 16,000 followers. You can follow the candidates using their Twitter handles at the bottom of the screen. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
Breast cancer is the most common cancer diagnosis in women in the United States. Nearly 1 in 8 women are diagnosed in their lifetime. However, making strides against breast cancer is one way people are celebrating survivorship and hope. Participants gathered in Morgantown recently to raise nearly $40,000 for breast cancer research, education, and patient services. The 5K walk put on by the American Cancer Society consisted of 42 teams. The event serves as a reminder to current breast cancer patients and survivors that they are not walking alone. The American Cancer Society is currently funding over $74 million in breast cancer research.
Kristen, did you know that more than 2/3 of first-year college students report feeling homesick? But WVU is trying to help make the transition easier by creating Fall Family Weekend.
Reporter Jacqueline Fenton joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more about how the university is curing those first-year blues. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Kristen and Hannah. As many as 1 in 3 college freshmen won't return to school for their sophomore year. But WVU is trying to change those numbers and keep first-year students in school by inviting families to Fall Family Weekend.
While some students are figuring out how to settle into college, some student athletes are thinking about life after they get their degree.
That's right, Hannah. Sports reporter Reagan Bailey tells us about the WVU athletes that have achieved some of their greatest career goals after graduation.
Many college football players dream of making it into the NFL, but only 2% of college players actually become pro football stars.
Sports reporter Ashley Rogers is here to tell us about how some Mountaineers are playing in the big leagues. Ashley?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. Football season for college and NFL players is in full swing. As the Mountaineers head into their 5th conference game against Oklahoma State, many of these players are just building their resume. WVU has produced 179 drafted players since the first draft in 1936, but the current coaching staff has had over 20 players go pro. Sports reporter Reagan Bailey discovers what it's like for WVU to see such success in their athletes. WVU has 38 upperclassmen on the team, so tune in on April 27th through April 29th to see what Mountaineers could get drafted to the NFL next. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
We will be watching our favorite Mountaineer players during the draft. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Kristen Toole.
And I'm Hannah Getz. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.